So if you are watching this on Facebook, I would invite you to head over to my YouTube channel. The link is in the description of this video, and I would appreciate it. Or if you like what I'm doing and want to kind of get notifications of every time that I go live, you can hit the subscribe button on YouTube and the bell to receive notifications, because there's lots of good content coming on there, and it's kind of a good home for all the video stuff that I do. So if that's something that interests you, come and join us over there. So this topic is kind of one that a lot of my topics are on self-love and our journeys to self-love and kind of my experiences and my knowledge on that topic. However, crystals have been a part of that self-love journey, and with that comes a lot of questions about crystals. So if you are kind of using different healing modalities for your self-love journey, like in my case, I've used a lot of journaling and crystals and aromatherapy, and those have been in yoga and meditation. And so all these little squirrely bits and pieces kind of make up my self-love journey. And so today I wanted to kind of do more of an education piece on just the basics of cleansing and clearing and charging crystals, because I know crystals are becoming a lot more popular than they maybe used to be. They've been around forever, clearly, but everyone's kind of turning to them to more as like a healing tool in our healing journeys, right? So if you, before we dive into that, if you are watching this live, please say hello so I can say hi back to you. And if you're watching on the replay, #replay, so I can come back later and just say hello then. So maybe comment on this post or on this video and let me know if you use crystals. If you use crystals in your life, and any questions you might have about them, or just saying, yeah, I use them, I love them, or whatever, right? Would love to hear what your guys' experiences are. So with crystals, there's a lot of information out there that kind of makes us kind of feel a little overwhelmed on like, what do you mean I have to cleanse them? What do you mean I have to charge them? Like, this is crazy. So I'm coming up with, I'm going to have a couple ways that just to help you guys who might have questions about it or are wondering about it, but just don't want to know where to turn. I'm going to show you what I do, not to say that that is the only way to do it, but just share my journey with you on how crystals have helped me in my self-love journey and kind of how I kind of take care of my crystals. So crystals are like this vibrational energy, just like we all are made up of energy, and crystals hold like a vibration. And the difference between crystals and humans, there's a lot of differences, but when we're talking about vibrations, like humans, our frequency and our vibration goes up and down depending on like if we're feeling sad or overwhelmed or stressed out or happy or excited. Like all these emotions cause our vibrations and our frequencies to go up and down depending on where we're at in our life. Where a crystal, its vibration is going to stay stable. So that's why we need them in our lives, is to just kind of have that stable energy in our houses or in our taking them with us or whatever, or having them, wearing them on our body, all these things, right? But because they are so stable, they also need to be taken care of to be working their best self for us, our crystals. So when you first get your crystal home, or if you purchased a new crystal, it's important to cleanse that crystal when you get home. So cleansing means just kind of like pressing the reset button on that crystal and kind of allowing it, and then setting your intention into that crystal and what you want that crystal to do for you. So the first way that I like to do it, if you're able to, is I have some examples here. So this is abalone shell with either sage or Palo Santo stick. So these are just quick and easy ways. You would just kind of like take your sage or your Palo Santo and light it, and then you would just kind of sweep it around the crystal with the smoke to kind of embody the smoke and cleanse that crystal with the smoke. If you don't like smoke, there are other ways you can cleanse a crystal as well. You could do a singing bowl around that crystal. So which is another kind of way to cleanse or charge or clear a crystal, is so if you have a singing bowl, you just simply like have your crystal nearby, and you would ding. I can show you guys if you want. So you ding, and then you go around. Anyway, I won't go into too much detail with that. That's a whole nother thing. But sound healing is good for crystals as well, for cleansing them. So you could do that. You can also use a sage spray. Like I have sage essential oil, and I have made myself up a spray bottle. And you can also spray the crystals if you don't have either access to the things for cleansing or sound healing or stuff like that. If you're using sage spray that has water in it, you can't have, so there's so many things to learn, you guys, it's crazy. So you can't, my rule of thumb is if it ends with ITE, if your crystal that you have the name of it ends with ITE, then I would not spray that one with sage spray. Because they say that primarily those crystals with the ITE on the end are not water soluble, so it will affect either the color or the shine or it may like disintegrate the crystal depending on what crystal it is. But anyway, that is another option if you have a crystal that doesn't fit that criteria of the ITE at the end. So another way we can charge our crystals or cleanse them is water. Like I said, with the sage spray, you can just run them under like distilled water or water that is like clear and pure. I luckily live in a place where my tap water is pure and clear. There's no things added to it. So you can do that as well. And then another way you can do, if you don't have access to any of these things, you can do sun or moon. You can cleanse or clear or charge your crystal under the sun or the moon. So if you don't have a full moon coming up, then you could charge them in the sunlight. So if it's a nice bright sunny day, putting them out in the sun. There is some crystals that you can't put out in the sun, but most of them you can, just for a couple hours or something like that. And then my last way I wanted to talk to you guys is this beautiful thing. So selenite is actually a crystal that charges other crystals. So it actually kind of like the energy, and this one doesn't need cleansed or anything either. The selenite crystals don't need charged or cleansed or cleared. They kind of are always like, they're like the power cord or the power block of crystals, because they just have the power to not have to need that done. So this is kind of my little plate that I will put different crystals on, charge them, and then swap them out or whatever. And so those are some ways that you can cleanse, clear, and charge your crystals. It's just kind of what I do. Hey, how's it going? Everyone has a different practice. Everyone has different opinions on what you can and cannot do, and that is totally fine. These are just some of the ways that have worked for me and that I like to do it. And like full moon, I'll sometimes put some crystals in water and put them outside in the full moon, and then I would drink that water after. And then all of this stuff, it's really important to kind of be like, when you're doing any of these cleansing traditions, to just make sure that while you're doing it, that you're setting that intention of whatever you want for that crystal, or what you want that crystal to, what energy you want it to possess, or what you want it to help you with. Because intention setting and manifesting is super important when you're working with crystals. And the more that you are able to do that while you're doing these cleansing things, that it's going to help kind of just reset. Press the reset button on the crystal, and then allow the crystal to kind of be reprogrammed, right? So that's why I like to use, and like depending on how busy you are, some of them are really quick, right? Like the moon one I just leave overnight. The sun one, it would be just when the sun is out, which isn't always. And then like using your selenite, the sound healing, there's all these different cool ways. So just playing around with what works for you. You don't have to do all of them. You could choose one. Which crystals am I using for which thing? I use crystals for, I have a lot of crystals. Depends on the day. I will use, like, my favorites right now would probably be Aqua Aura. And that one is kind of for inspiring people with your words, which is what I'm trying to do. So I'm really using that crystal a lot. I would hold it in my hand while I'm meditating, or I would journal with it. A lot of my favorites too are like rose quartz, amethyst. A lot of my crystals that I use are self-love crystals, like more about the self-love and the heart chakra and that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I also love selenite. Like selenite, even though it's not like, it's more of like this charging kind of crystal for other crystals, I really do love selenite. And it's just a protective crystal, right? Oh, that's okay. um, yeah, so I just depends on the day for crystals. Like I have quite the collection, and it just depends what I'm attracted to and what I'm working. So currently I'm working with self-love crystals to answer your question. Um, so it's mostly like rose quartz, amethyst, clear quartz, and then aqua aura is kind of the one that I'm drawn to right now. So it is my favorite crystal, just for the meaning behind it and what I'm trying to manifest in my life. So, okay, we got a question here. So which crystal would you recommend for anxiety support? I would say for that question, anxiety support, any of your crystals that are protective, um, like protective stones like black tourmaline or clear quartz, or um, what's another one for protection? Smoky quartz, selenite. All of those ones that are kind of protective are going to be good for anxiety too. And then another one that I am actually quite interested in is zeolite. Zeolite crystals are really cool for like people who work in stressful environments or are stressed out easily. Um, that one would be a good one too. And also amethyst. Amethyst is a good calming stone. It's good for like calming your energy and your anxiety and stress and that kind of thing. So amethyst would be a good starter stone for that one too. So I hope that helps. My silly Facebook doesn't always tell me who's commenting, so I don't know who is commenting, but I will go look back after to see who it is. So thank you for that question. Yeah, so that's kind of like, in a nutshell, some cleansing and clearing and charging crystal ideas for you guys, and what I do in my own practice with crystals. And just with my self-love journey, like connecting it back to kind of my primary kind of way that I kind of put myself out into the world is like the self-love piece. And I think just the whole point of having another tool to kind of help me in that journey, and kind of setting those intentions and manifestations of what, either how I want to show up in the world or how I want to feel about myself. Rose quartz, is that a stone? Yes, rose quartz is a crystal too. It's like a pretty pink crystal. I should have had more of my crystals out here. I could show you. I can, oh, hey, Ruth. It's Ruth. Yeah, rose quartz is a pink stone, and that one's kind of the stone for the heart chakra, which is like for self-love and healing and forgiveness. It is one of my favorite ones that I kind of started my journey with, and just kind of I would meditate with it and hold it over my heart. I would carry it with me, and it's just a reminder. Like, also when you're setting intentions on those crystals, like if I'm setting a self-love intention on that rose quartz, then I would anytime I would see that rose quartz, I would be reminded of like, oh yeah, love yourself, oh yeah, you got this. um just It's helped me a lot in just kind of like being that visual tool, and just the way that they feel too. Like, I can always, like, certain crystals that you will pick them up and you'll either get like a vibration of like either hot or cold, or like a almost like a pulsing. It's super cool. Anyway, I really inspiring to me. uh, oh, thank you, Ruth. That's so kind. You are so inspiring. I love how you're encouraging women to take care of themselves. Oh, thank you so much. Of course. Yes. So please feel free to ask me any more questions if you guys have them as you think about things. And if you have any more questions about crystals, I would love to answer them. It's really, it's been a fun part of my journey, and I love how they support me in manifesting and kind of setting intentions on the things that I'm wanting to work on in my life. So anyway, I hope that was helpful for you guys. And I guess before we head out of here, I will give you guys a couple things you can do if you want to see more of what I'm up to. If you are not already in this group, oh, it's on this side. This is being broadcasted in there too, but we are a group of women. It's called Imperfectly Perfect You. It's a community of women who are like just empowering and inspiring each other to love their imperfectly perfect selves. So we have a lot of cool things over there, like journaling and meditations and yoga practices and just support, just like little prompts to support us and make us think about things and help us work through either hard times or times where we're not feeling like we're so lovable or feeling unworthy. It's just a good community to help you kind of work through that muck, right? So we're there for you. So please join us over there. You can it's on Facebook. You can just ask to be invited, and if you're already there, you know how fun we are in there. Anyway, and then what else should we talk about? I think what I will do is, we didn't talk about it. I talked about journaling a little bit, but I have a Find Your Magic journal available now. So it's based upon the course that I have available as well, and it's kind of the companion to the course, taking you through journal prompts. And journal and crystals work well together too, just saying, you guys. It's I always leave a journal or a crystal on my journal just to kind of radiate that energy up and kind of set that intention of what I'm writing down is happening or whatever, right? So it's just another tool to use for your journey. So my journal is available now. The link is in the comments. And if you're looking for a journal, it's a really beautiful journal. It's all watercolor and has prompts on every page to help you out if you're feeling like you need some inspiration. So anyway, that is that. There is fun stuff coming up for crystals, you guys. I am working on another course, and crystals is going to be a big part of it. So I'm really excited. I'm just putting the last pieces of it together for anyone looking for just basic knowledge on crystals, because I find they're coming more and more mainstream, and there's all this information, and it's hard to kind of have a place where it's all put together really nicely. So anyways, I've talked to way too long. What are we at? 17 minutes. All right, we're doing pretty good. Okay, guys, I'm going to head out of here. Have the best rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys again soon.